The year 1866 was marked by a strange occurrence, an unexplained and indeed inexplicable phenomenon which surely no one can have forgotten. Though rumors abounded which alarmed the populations of ports and inflamed public sentiment in the interior of every continent, it was seafaring folk who felt the most afraid. Merchants, shipping companies, the captains of vessels, the skippers of boats, and the marine commanders of Europe and America, officers of the navies of every nation, and in their wake the governments of various countries of both continents, all gave their whole attention to the question and allocated it the highest priority. The fact of the matter was that for some time past various ships at sea had encountered a long cigar-shaped object which could at times be phosphorescent and was infinitely larger and faster than a whale. The facts concerning this mysterious apparition, set down in various ships' logs, all more or less tallied as to the structure of the object or creature in question, its unprecedented speed, its amazing locomotive power, and the particular vitality with which it appeared to be endowed. If it was a cetacean, it was infinitely larger in size than anything science had recorded up to that time. Not Cuvier, nor Lacépède, nor Monsieur Dumeril, nor Monsieur Quatrefages would have admitted the existence of such a monster, unless they had seen it for themselves. In other words, had observed it through their own scientific optic. Taking the average of the observations recorded at different times and discounting both the conservative estimates which attributed to the object a length of 200 feet and the exaggerated reports which made it a mile wide and 3 miles long, it could be stated that this phenomenal creature surpassed by far the dimensions considered possible hitherto by ichthyologists, if, that is, it existed at all. But exist it did. It was an undeniable fact, and given the ready tendency of the human brain to detect marvels everywhere, it will not be difficult to understand the excitement produced all over the globe by the supernatural apparition. Any thought that it could be relegated to the ranks of fable could not be entertained. And then, on 20 July 1866, the steamship Governor Higginson of the Calcutta and Burnick Steam Navigation Company encountered this traveling mass 5 miles off the coast of Australia. At first, Captain Baker believed that he was dealing with an uncharted reef, and was preparing to note its exact position when 2 gouts of water, released by the inexplicable object, rose 150 feet into the air with a great roar. Thus, unless the reef was subject to the intermittent eruption of a geyser, the Governor Higginson had happened upon a species of a hitherto unknown aquatic mammal, which was in the habit of blowing columns of water, mixed with air and steam, through its spiracles. A similar encounter was recorded on 23 July of the same year in Pacific waters by the Cristobal Colon of the West India and Pacific Steam Navigation Company. It followed that this cetacean was able, within a space of just 3 days, to move under its own power from one location to another with astonishing speed. For the Governor Higginson and the Cristobal Colon had observed it on 2 points on the map which were more than 700 nautical leagues apart. 2 weeks later, and 2,000 leagues from the last sighting, the Helvetia of the Compagnie Nationale and the Shannon of the Royal Mail, on opposite tacks in that part of the Atlantic which separates the United States from Europe, both reported sighting the monster at latitude 42 degrees 15 north and longitude 60 degrees 35 west of the Greenwich meridian. These simultaneous sightings allowed the minimum length of the mammal to be set at more than 350 English feet. For neither the Shannon nor the Helvetia was as big, though both measured 100 meters from stem to stern. The largest whales, those to be found in the seas around the Aleutian Islands, the Coolamac, and the Umgillic, never exceed a length of 56 meters and rarely achieve that. These reports, arriving fast on the heels of each other, plus a new sighting made by the transatlantic steamship the Pereire, a collision between the Etna of the Eisman line and the monster, a detailed report from officers of the French frigate La Normandie, an unimpeachably accurate signal sent from senior officers under the command of Commodore Fitzjames of the Lord Clyde, all brought the interest of the public to fever pitch. In countries inclined to the frivolous, jokes were made about the phenomenon, but in sober, practically minded countries such as England, America, and Germany, the matter was taken extremely seriously. In every large center of population the monster was all the rage. Songs were sung about it in cafes, journalists mocked the very idea that such a thing existed, and plays featuring it were staged in theaters.